Hi guys, welcome to Cooking with Chickadee. This is a really bad idea. Now, today we're going to be making mac and cheese because I haven't eaten lunch yet and it's 3 p.m. Small pot because I don't know how much noodles is enough to feed a single human, genuinely. Now, go over to the sink and Don't trust me. We fill it with hot water. I just dropped the rag in the sink. Fuck. Okay. Probably not too much water because we're only making enough pasta as a normal human can consume, which, granted, I don't know how much that is, but you get the point. Anyway. Fuck. Okay, next we're gonna add some chicken broth because I like the way it makes the pasta taste. You don't have to replicate this. Also, it smells pretty bad when it's boiling, which I should probably turn the burner on. And so, if you don't like the smell of chicken broth, I would not suggest this step. It makes the water look pretty. It makes the water look a little bit like piss. Okay, now I've got the burner on full heat because I'm impatient. We're gonna put the lid on and let it boil for like, I don't know, until it boils. I don't use timers. Also, I don't measure the water. If you measure the water, you're a coward and I fucking hate you. Anyway, yeah, we're just gonna let it boil for a little bit. Oh, Jesus Christ, I don't know why I zoned out so hard there. Oh no. On the sides, and then when you move it, it'll make a crackling noise. Don't worry, nothing is wrong. Something is wrong. Why is it hissing? It doesn't usually... Okay, on to the noodles. It's not boiling yet, but these are the noodles I use. They're just like Barilla Elbows. We're not using box mac and cheese because the cheese powder always makes me cough when I go to eat it. You can interpret that however you like. Okay, my water is doing something weird. Something that's probably important to note about this is that I usually forget about the chicken broth until it's actually like boiling already. This is like the first time, and I can't fucking remember how long, that I've actually remembered to put the broth in before, okay, yeah, it's definitely good, before I boil the water. Okay, so it's getting a little foamy. It's a little bit foamy. Fuck, okay, yeah, we're gonna take it off while we wait for it to cool down, and we're gonna throw the pasta in. That was just the rest of the box, about like a fucking, I don't know, like third or fourth of a box. Not sure how much pasta is okay for a human to consume, but we're gonna ignore that and continue cooking anyway. There are two important things to note about this pasta. Number one, there is a time on the box that it gives you for al dente pasta. We're gonna completely ignore that. I am not even going to look at the timer. I haven't even set one. I don't fucking care. Another thing. Oh god, okay. Anyway, another thing is that this is what the kids call one pot lazy pasta, one pot pasta. We are doing this all in this single pot. No strainers, no fucking other things, just this and a bowl. I mean, you can eat it out of the pot if you want. Who am I to stop you? But the point being, we don't do dishes. We don't do dishes. Okay, I don't know how long it's been that the pasta's boiling, but I tasted it and it's not ready yet. By the way, how you tell when it's ready is, without using a timer, is you just go over, you take some in your spoon, you drain it against the side of the pot, you go over, you run to the sink, you run some cold water on it, and you pop it in your mouth. And we're gonna take the lid off that so it doesn't boil over. Anyway, we're gonna briefly go over what you need for the cheese portion of this recipe. You're gonna need your pasta, obviously. Also, I have like butter on a butter dish or whatever, I don't know. You use quite a bit of butter in this because I like the way it makes the cheese taste rather than the milk, but you still use milk, so you use like a third stick of butter. I don't measure it. We don't use any measurements in this recipe at all. You feel that shit with your heart. Anyway, we also use milk. This is the lactose-free version because I am technically not supposed to consume real milk. We're gonna put the lid back on. And then for your cheese, I'm just gonna be using cheddar. This is sharp cheddar, shredded. You can use sliced cheese, which I've done before if you're really desperate, but generally shredded works better because it melts faster. This is great value, so use whatever brand you like. By the way, a cooking tip with me is that if any recipe that you find online tells you to use a specific brand of like anything for a recipe, just fuck that. Like, that recipe was A, probably written by some fucking rich old white person, and B, it doesn't matter. It doesn't make a difference. Like, yeah, obviously there is a difference in brands, because, like, some are kind of shitty, but, like, this one brand of peanut butter I used. But, overall, it should be fine. Who fucking cares? Also, on the peanut butter cookie recipe, it tells me to use Jif creamy peanut butter. Which, you know, I think the fuck not. Jif is so goddamn expensive. You think I have the money for that? I am 15 and poor. You think I have the money for that? Fuck that. Anyway. Okay, pasta's ready. Oh my god, I'm so washed out. We are going to briefly turn off the oven. You're gonna have the lid like that, and you're just gonna drain it. All right, that should be good. Okay, sweet. Now you take that shit. I like to not put it back on the burner because the burner is usually still hot at this point. And so it's generally not a good idea because a lot of times the excess water will boil. Now we're just gonna take a bit of our butter. Yes, I'm using my fingers because only me is eating this. You're gonna take about, I don't know, that much. I'm actually gonna get like a tiny bit more, just like a little tiny bit more. Chuck that in the pot, let it melt. Yeah, chuck that in the pot, let it melt. Just gonna, you didn't see that. That didn't happen. Now, you get your milk and your cheese. And you put the milk in just a tiny bit. I only like to use a tiny bit of milk. Just keep stirring that around. Big chunk of butter is almost melted. I like to make sure the butter is all the way melted before I'm actually gonna put this back on the burner now. Before, that's a bad smell. Yeah, okay, anyway. Yeah, I like to make sure the butter is all the way melted before I add the cheese because that makes sure the cheese doesn't get stuck in like huge chunks, which generally is like a problem when you're making mac and cheese with real cheese. Okay, now for the cheese. So the cheese doesn't get stuck in like giant chunks like it sometimes can, I take a big amount of cheese. Sorry, there's one on the stove and I didn't want it to melt on there. You take a big amount of cheese and you sort of sprinkle it around the top. Because if you just throw it in like a big clump, a lot of times it'll like stay clumped like that and then you have noodles that have more cheese than others. I use like 2 tiny little baby-sized me handfuls, probably actually more than that because I've got a lot of noodles. Yeah, generally with the cheese, you just kind of, you sprinkle a layer on the top, mix it around, and then you see what you're working with. We are, fuck, okay, we're definitely gonna need more cheese though. So I'm gonna take my spoon, set it aside, grab some more cheese. And I think we're just gonna go with another good thick layer on top. And then we're gonna put away the cheese in the fridge. Oh, I should probably stir that around first. Anyway, so at this point I'm gonna turn the burner back on. And keep it at relatively low heat, but still like, ow, I've just burned my fucking fingers. Okay, yeah. Keep the burner at relatively low heat just so that it can melt. I'm actually gonna add a little bit more milk. Like said, you can obviously use measurements if you want, but I don't because I'm not a coward. Just gonna scrape the excess cheese off the spoon. Now, keep in mind all the things that I'm doing that are probably unsanitary. I am making this mac and cheese purely for myself. This is my lunch. So if you're mad about it, just don't do it, because I'm probably not going to stop doing it unless I'm cooking for other people. In this case, I am not. Okay, fuck, okay. Grab the lid, set that on there. Okay, our mac and cheese should be fully melted now, so now we add garnish. By garnish, I mean pepper. I like my mac and cheese somewhat more peppery than a lot of my people I know do. So I'm just gonna dump that shit in there and mix it around. I am trying not to inhale it. I am really trying not to inhale it. Oh my god, okay. Fuck, why does that keep happening? Anyway, the noodles keep falling out a little bit. Okay, I'm pretty sure this is more mac and cheese than an average human would ever consume in one sitting, but I'm honestly not entirely sure, so we're just gonna put it in a bowl and see. We're gonna move that over there. Here's my bowl. Cheese. Okay. Now, the way I serve it is I'm just gonna scrape it in, because not doing that results in way too many cheese strings, which get all over my counter, and it's kind of a bitch to clean up. I eat it with a fork, obviously. And then you have your very full bowl of mac and cheese. I'm filming this on my phone, so it kind of looks like shit, but we're just gonna ignore that and continue to eat. All right, that's it for the mac and cheese. It's done. Please focus. It's done. It's in the bowl. I'm drinking vanilla Coca-Cola that I stole from my dad's work fridge a few days ago when he went to go write checks. I'm with it. Yeah, you can pretty much just add whatever, like, salt and pepper you want. Who am I to fucking tell you not to? Yeah, just, and also you can store this in the fridge, but do be careful because there is milk in it, and so milk and like cheese and dairy and whatever. So be careful with expiration dates. Try to eat it like at least a few days before, because we don't want it to expire in your fridge, because then your parents yell at you and it's kind of a fucking mess. Anyway, that's it for this. Bye.